Welcome to Channel X TV, sponsored by Volo. Delighted to be joined today by Serdar, who is head of product for OLX, one of the biggest groups of marketplace and classified ads across Europe. So welcome, Serdar. How are you?
Hi, Chris. Thank you. Very happy to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
So really interested to find out more about European marketplaces and classifieds. But before we dig into that, can you just tell us a little bit about OLX and the platforms that you run?
Of course. OLX actually has been around since 2006. We are a technology company that powers trade for pretty much everyone in various countries. To be exact, it's South Africa plus 8 European markets. Our platforms are very much enabling person-to-person trade as well as business-to-person trade across multiple categories, from the classic classifieds categories such as goods, electronics, fashion, to jobs and services, as well as real estate and motors. As I mentioned, we are a tech company as well as a classifieds business. Innovation is a key part of what we do. We leverage much of the, cutting edge technologies, especially data science and machine learning, to help make it easier for both the customers or seekers who are seeking either goods or services or a home or a car. We basically try to make it easy for them to find what they need by matching what our sellers really are offering in the best way possible. And we use a lot of technology there. And we are very much focused on transactional capabilities as well. I think we'll talk about this a little bit more, but the markets and the needs of our customers have been changing, that they actually need more transactional e-commerce-like capabilities, and we do that as well. But overall, I think the mission is probably the most important element of what we do. We actually, I do believe we bring a lot of benefits to the communities and the plan and people and the planet that we operate in. And we basically trade, we allow trade of used goods and services from professionals, but also non-professionals. And I think that is very important, especially nowadays. Our products basically enable reuse of products and help improve affordability. And I do believe we actually create more equitable access by everyone to products and services.
But this is really interesting, and I want to dig a little bit more into various marketplaces and countries in a minute. But before we get there, what sort of trends are you seeing in consumer spend across Europe? It's been a tricky couple of years. We had COVID, we've had economic slumps, but how is it impacting consumer spends? Is there anything specific you're seeing? Like, are consumers looking for secondhand, pre-loved, refurbished goods more? Are they looking to buy more consumer-to-consumer purchases than from buying from businesses? What are you actually seeing across Europe?
I think, Chris, this is a very important point. I mean, I think the key word is high cost of living. Prices are on the rise. I think we all feel it as consumers ourselves. I think for the last several years, there has been rampant inflation across the world and also in the markets we operate. Purchasing power of consumers, everyday people, have been declining. And as much as we also see some wage increases, I think overall the purchasing power has been going down. And affordability, therefore, is a major concern for most people, if not all. Although we see inflation slowing down, that's for sure. For example, in our primary market in Poland, inflation dropped from almost 18% in February of this year to 6 or 7% in November, but it is still high, meaning the prices are still going up. Price still going up, just the pace has slowed down. All in all, I think it's an environment where circular economy or used goods become even more important. It's an environment where I think classifieds play a big role. That's why we are actually seeing a lot of demand, especially in our core categories of goods. But yeah, I mean, and there has been also an interesting dynamic in jobs market as well. We are also touching the jobs market. We have seen shortage of, especially because we play in blue collar and gray collar jobs for the most part, shortage of those jobs, but also we've seen that market soften a little bit. Well, we are seeing that still there's some resilience there. It's actually picking back up again. But overall, I think the name of the game is cost of living decline.
And talking of the cost of living, are you seeing more consumers deciding to resell products in the past, or are they just mainly looking to buy on the platforms?
I think it's both. We continue to see a steady increase in listings. I would say there is an awareness, not just because of cost of living, of actually making use of what people have themselves, and therefore we are seeing our listings go up. But the demand has been going up faster, for sure. We are seeing I guess a little bit of a disproportionate increase in demand. I have to say we also have insights into cars market as well as real estate as well that are actually also showing very much similar trending. There has been obviously a major supply shortage back, especially during COVID, and there was a lot of pent-up demand for especially cars, for example. The car prices went up quite a bit. And then we saw a lot of demand for cars, and it's been catching up, but we are seeing definitely an increased duration across the board for expensive items like cars stay online on our platform. There's still a lot of demand for cars or any expensive item, frankly, electronics as well, phones as well. The duration of those listings staying on our platform has been going up. We see that because of the price ranges that those products are at. But the demand definitely is up, and especially for more affordable products.
That's really interesting. And I think I want to ask you a bit more about Poland, because inflation at the beginning of the year said 18%, it's down to 6%. We think it's bad in the UK, and it's got down to about 3.4%. But
yeah,
we had it about 10. But 18% is massive. So you're the number one classifieds platform in Poland. Have you seen any particular trends in Poland that are either exacerbated compared with elsewhere or are different?
Absolutely. Let me quickly first describe the breadth of like what we do in Poland. Firstly, we have our core goods and service platform, which is our core classifieds platform, OLX. And on top of it, we also operate in categories such as real estate and motors with additional brands. We also have additional products branded differently. They're very much integrated, but offering more specialized capabilities. So we have a very broad set of capabilities there. We are a key platform there. We have about 15 million plus monthly active users, or 6 million a day, which is really, I think, important in a country of with a population just shy of 40 million. So we are a major player.
It's like more than 1 in 3.
Yes. We're very proud. So we really stay really on top of what's happening in Poland, and we want to serve our customers well. But what we are seeing there is very strong demand for our products across buyers and sellers, especially on our core categories and on core classifieds. We have seen in the first half of our fiscal year, these numbers we announced, over 30% year-over-year growth. And it comes in the form of the consumer demand, but also it comes in the form of basically importance of classifieds and used goods going higher or up. But we are doing well in all categories, I have to be honest, including motors as well, despite high prices for cars recently, and real estate has been holding up, although I think that is probably the most affected category of all because of the high ticket price of houses and the very high interest rates. But we are happy, we are very, to see the resilience there, but overall, the demand on goods definitely solid, especially because of this trend. But I have to say the expectation of customers also have gone up. So that's why focusing on technology is very important. We are very much doubling down on e-commerce type capabilities, because those capabilities exist for new goods and services. You go to classic brand names, you will see that, but it is a lot harder to do it on used goods and basically person to person especially. So we are very much committed to that. We are leading the charge there. We are driving a lot of e-commerce like transactional capabilities, which are allowing customers to pay and sellers to ship those items, and basically end-to-end delivery of those products. So that
much
is,
more
I think,
of a marketplace than just classifieds.
Absolutely. And I think the other categories, I do believe, are an indication of, I think, that you were asking about trends. As I mentioned, I think for more expensive items, the listings stay obviously on the site longer. Our platforms really have a balancing effect. We really do a good job of ensuring that customers who are in the market for higher ticket items also can find what they need. But we are also seeing, a continued resilience. We are very happy in a positive manner. We are surprised that motors and real estate are holding up as well. But we will have to watch 2024 and how these things hold. We are hopeful. We are cautiously optimistic.
Another country that you're also number one is Romania, which isn't a country which kind of springs to people's mind necessarily first from the UK when
Yeah,
they're thinking e-commerce. So what trends are you seeing in Romania?
it's actually a very good question. We are definitely seeing Romania as a strategic market. It is actually right after Poland, one of our top two markets. We operate again a core classifieds platform, and in real estate and motors separate platforms as well. It is quite similar. The inflation over there has come down, but still over 8%. And demand has been moderating there as well, but remains resilient. The one difference, I think, or I would say a more pronounced thing there is, which really applies to all markets, is actually the importance of trust and safety. In Romania, it is also, regulators are also more innovative there. So it's a key consideration like everywhere else, but slightly more pronounced. So we are definitely seeing demand for products like ours, where we also spend a lot of energy in making sure that there's transparency and trust and confidence by consumers and sellers alike, that actually the transaction is safe and sound. I think that is one slight difference where we are seeing a little bit more emphasis on that. I think we also have been, just to show a little bit of the slight differences there, we've been strong in Poland. Our investment in Romania has caught up, frankly, in terms of the breadth of products. Well, we recently, for example, repositioned our real estate platform. We see a lot of demand there in real estate in Romania as well, very solid, despite the high interest rates. So I do believe it's another market that shows the consumer confidence, despite rising prices, remains resilient. However, we are seeing deterioration for sure in consumer spending power there too.
That's fascinating. Now, there is one other country in Europe I wanted to ask you about, which is sadly Ukraine, where obviously it's stricken by war at the moment. What are consumers doing in the country? How are they coping? And are they still buying and selling anything, or have they become to rely on it more than ever?
Ukraine definitely is one of our top markets. We have been committed to Ukraine. We never stopped operating in Ukraine and continue to invest there. So we have seen the impact of the war from the beginning, Chris. At the beginning, and the situation is still fluid. Clearly, it is changing day by the day. The economy there experienced a steep decline after the war, like we all know. I think almost 30% of GDP decline was experienced. But the country and the people have been very resilient. We are seeing a market recovery. I think we are going to see about 100% year-over-year growth, and of course our business that went down in the year prior this year, but also the Ukrainian economy is growing about 10%, and we think that that will persist for the next several years. It's impossible to say there's any normal. However, we are very proud to be part of the recovery of Ukraine. We have seen, for example, inflation come down from 50% to 5%. There is some form of obviously improvement, moderate recovery, I would say, but the demand in classifieds platform is very solid. It's been going up, I think, faster than the economic recovery. It is especially a country that is very technology, I think, driven, very much like fast adopters of technology. Our transactional capabilities are some of the, I think, most advanced in Ukraine, and the customers demanded there. For example, in 2023, I think we're going to end the year with over 10 million e-commerce transactions in Ukraine alone. So there's definitely vibrancy there. But as I said, it is a country that is rebuilding. We are committed to helping the economy and the trade. By the way, when the war broke out, our platforms played a big role because we help basically people communicate and trade in an environment where it was almost impossible to do it. We also reduced fees. We really enabled our sellers to be able to sell. And we believe platforms like ours will be, enabling a recovery. Will be hopefully a part of that recovery story. And we are seeing that as we speak. And I will say that Ukraine, I think, will remain a top market for us. In fact, in every, I think, weekly conversations, Ukraine is one of the top topics. And we are proud to see the team over there. We have a very big team over there, like operate and do wonders. But e-commerce is a big trend there. And we do believe that it will continue and it will help the country recover as well.
Mm. Well, our thoughts with everyone in Ukraine, obviously.
Yes.
Now, we're just entering 2024. It's a new year. It's always a time for looking forward. So it would be remiss of me if I didn't ask what sort of trends you're expecting for classifieds in 2024 and
Yes.
moving forwards.
Well, I mean, of course, predictions are very hard to make, but I will do my best. So the affordability concern will continue, we believe. The prices continue to be high and continue to rise, albeit at a lower level. The purchasing power of like people across the world, I think, will take years to recover. We really think that we should first see the inflation come down to acceptable ranges and the wages to catch up. So our platforms will continue to focus on ensuring that people have access to products and services that are otherwise would be more difficult for them to access. I think that will continue. The second thing is innovation and technology. I mean, the speed of innovation, especially in our business, is immense. If you think about classifieds so many years ago, it was basically, I would say, basically ads in a newspaper converted online, right? I mean, let's be honest. But what we arrive today is, I've been talking about e-commerce. I've been talking about machine learning AI, especially with most recent progress with Gen AI and large language models. We are a technology company, and innovation is going to be a key part of basically commerce and trade. We do believe the transactional capabilities, people want convenience, ease of use, very important. And on top of it, people want products and services that basically to be relevant and applicable to them. So using machine learning and AI, for example, Gen AI makes it so much easier, possibly for people to be able to tell us what they want. And when you can easily match them to products and services that are out there. Or, hey, job seekers, we have a major job actually category. It is very hard for job seekers to put together their resumes. We are using machine learning AI to be able to simplify their resume creation or CV creation. And on top of it, we're making so much easier from keywords, etc., from those job postings to be able to match them and provide that relevance to them. And also for employers, make it so much easier to access qualified candidates. There's so many applications of technology. And sellers, it's been really hard, especially if you're selling more than one product, to list the same product or variations of the same product 10 times, 20 times. Technology is making it so much easier. We're building a lot of automation to that, bringing a lot of automation to the sellers as well. The third, I would say, is this is never going to change. In fact, it's going to be more important, especially with the advent and progress of platforms like ours that drive more secondhand and used goods, and that is trust and safety. It is a very different level of requirements that we need to meet compared to brand new goods and much bigger sellers when we're talking about person to person or small business to person trade. Therefore, trust and safety, both manual, humans will never be out of this picture, all the way from moderation to fraud detection to support, but also using technology to automate, making sure that, for example, from images, we can understand if the product is what people say it is, or it's actually meeting the needs of the customer, helping them basically qualify. Or we can also, we are able to put people in there whenever needed, but not all the time. So we can scale our ability to bring transparency and confidence to way more products and services. Last but not least, I would like to talk about sustainability and environment. This is really important. I know it often gets a second billing for when affordability is in question, but we don't believe so. I think it can go hand in hand. And I think the world is aware of the sustainability impact of continues to buying new products. And there's a lot of demand now we are seeing for used goods, both for affordability as well as creating a circular economy. So we are going to invest there. We will continue. Our role at a minimum will be about driving transparency and clarity about the sustainability implications or impact of people making decisions about the products and services they buy. And we are investing heavily there. Last, example we were just talking about recently is buying a used phone versus a refurb phone. The amount of carbon emissions difference is just immense. And we do believe that we have a responsibility to bring that to the surface and make sure that our customers are aware of how they're impacting the environment and also play a role there.
So an exciting year ahead with everything from AI to trust and safety, sustainability. And let's hope that in 2024, the economies of the world do start recovering, and those inflation levels across Europe and around the world do start coming down. But Serdar, first of all, a happy new year. And secondly, thank you so much for your time today.
Chris, thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity. And to all who listens to this, happy new year and happy holidays.